What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Movie and a Cocktail with Bobby and Dennis.
We're back.
So, this is actually part 2 of our very first episode.
Yes.
And on this episode, we will be reviewing the second movie of The Old Guard. So, if you haven't watched or haven't listened to part 1, go back and listen to part 1 because I believe that when you're watching, you can't watch part 2 without watching part 1 because you will be lost.
Yes,
because it's like
a lot of the stories is piggyback off of what you learned in one.
It's continuous, so it's like everything that covered in 1 flows over into 2. So it's not like 2 separate movies.
And then also, part 1 left off where part 2 picks up.
Yeah, it was a clear hangover.
Yep.
Hangover. What is it called? Not hangover. What is it called? Cliffhanger.
Oh, cliffhanger, hangover. Okay, that's a good.
But anyway, so
start, I guess.
Like the name of the show suggests, a movie and a cocktail. Yes, we are having cocktails.
Movie and a cocktail.
There's a few cocktail brands that hopefully. Hopefully this show do well.
Let's speak that in existence.
And we get some brand deals or some sponsor deals.
And then I was thinking also maybe, the movie that we watched, we can try to make a cocktail based on that.
I like it. Give me time.
I know, right? Look at
that would be
that
cool.
Boy moving.
That would be cool.
Moving.
Let's that we're gonna definitely do that for the next one.
So please, if you have any suggestions, recommendations, please comment, subscribe, and help us out.
Yes. All right. So, like I said, we're going to be going over the Old Guard 2. We already talked about the Old Guard 1. We thought it was an amazing movie. So, moving on to part 2. Also, if you have not watched either of these movies, spoiler alert, please go watch the movie. All right. So, with part 2, my initial thought on part 2 was it's more sci-fi than part 1.
Okay. Where with the sci-fi?
What is sci-fi?
Sci-fi is more
the magical stuff.
Not magical. It can also be technical, and it can also be So sci-fi does not initially run into magical.
Well, this one was magic. It had more a magical component to it. So yes, no, you don't agree?
Okay, I'm confused with the magic portion. They was fighting their ass off.
Don't you try to embarrass me in front of these people.
I got more fighting in this one. I'm not trying to embarrass you.
The opening fight scene was a lot. It was a good one. So when I say more of the magic, in this one, we figure out why Andy lost her power, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it was this transfer of power and how you transfer the power.
But that's later on.
I know, but I'm saying I think it still was more sci-fi to me.
Okay.
Because it's that aspect of it.
Okay, you getting sci-fi. I'm getting more martial arts drama.
That's one component of it. The what I'm talking about. Let's talk about it. Let's go through it. All right. So at the end of the old movie, the end of the first movie, we see that Quinn, who was the lady that Andy that was her first person that she had found. So I think she was alone for 3,000 years. Then she found
into her.
She found Quinn, and that was the first person that she thought that had immortality aside from her. Quinn gets taken out of the ocean because we were then introduced to a new character, Miss Uma Thurman. I don't remember what her name was in this thing. But we introduced.
Start with a D. I know that. Not the Django.
Discord, yeah. So we're introduced to her, and I'm like, oh, I thought Uma did a great job. I was like, look at Uma. So anyway,
I got it. Doesn't with Uma. So we've seen Uma in Uma. So we've seen Uma in multiple type genres of movies.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen her in comedy before.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen her in drama before. We've seen her in action. We've seen her in. Have she been in horror yet? I don't
I
think
don't
she's
know. I
been
don't
in any
follow her like
horror
that.
or anything. But to see her in this, it kind of, to me, when I was watching her, I don't know, this might just be my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of her role in
Kill Bill.
not Kill Bill. Even though I can see that now, but her actions and her her actions and her little suggestions made me think of her character Poison Ivy. How
Okay.
Poison Ivy was using props and using different type of not was when I say background, do I want to say background or materials to
Mm-hmm.
portray who she was.
Okay.
And that watching her do this, that kind of gave me that role or that memory of that role for her.
Okay. So are you saying you didn't like her role,
No,
or?
I like the role.
Oh,
I like
okay.
the role, but it's just like when you watch somebody that you kind of watch multiple of their
Mm-hmm.
movies
Mm-hmm.
before, and it's like, okay, just how we know Jamie Foxx liked to do comedy,
Mm-hmm.
and just like how Jackie Chan back in the day was more martial art guy. So anything that they was put in, they were kind of doing the same thing,
Yes.
or it was kind of somewhat of a memory of you watching them previously before.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I was saying watching her here, it kind of reminded me of her role as Poison Ivy, where she was using different type of props and different type of actions to portray her character.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um. So in the end of the first movie, we see that Quinn is back, and she is contacting Booker. So throughout in the beginning of the second movie, we find out the reason why Quinn is back, because in the very first scene, it's Uma's character, Discord, is basically fishing her out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the first questions that I wrote down was, with Quinn's anger, do you feel like it was warranted?
That's why I said in the first episode of our podcast that to repeatedly having
Mm-hmm.
to die
Yes.
over and over and over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that would be miserable. That would be a most miserable situation. So yes, it was wanted. However, was she blaming when she tried to blame it on the fact that Andy character or Andy was above ground and walking around for X amount of centuries and never came looking for her? She blamed it on that.
Right, right.
And I mean, is that a valid reason? Some would say yes, and some would say no. However, with her, I understand.
Right.
Like I'm dying consistently.
I guess initially I felt, maybe it's just me, maybe it could have been a conversation. Like, let's talk about it. Why?
Well, it wasn't.
Why did you ever, or ask the question? Did you try to find me?
But their conversation was mainly them trying to reconnect.
You're saying once they actually met up?
Yeah.
So yeah, but she was angry. She tried to fight her when they first met. So okay, a little backstory of the second one. Let me see what the synopsis is for part 2. Do you remember? Do you know?
The second one was based on, now you're throwing an additional character in, which is played by Uma, who is Discord, who we find out is the original.
Yes. All right. So Andy leads Immortal Warriors against a powerful enemy threatening their group. They grapple with the resurfacing of a long-lost immortal, complicating their mission to safeguard humanity. All right. So in this film, Uma's character, Discord, is was she actually trying to? So the supernatural part of it, that
Okay.
science fiction part of it, her and another guy who was immortal, who we find out that both of them were actually present during the witches trial for Quinn and Andy, but they never exposed themselves.
Right.
So this whole time, Uma knew about both of them, and she never contacted
Reached
them.
out,
right?
yeah.
So they figure out that there's a way to transfer the immortality.
Okay.
To me, that was like science fiction. I'm like, oh, so you can, here you go type thing. I don't know. Anyway, so throughout the film, they're basically trying to stop Uma from Discord from doing what she's trying to do, and she's basically trying to capture them so that she can take their immortality. We also find out that now, who was the soldier in the first one, that she is the reason why Andy lost her power.
And the reason why Andy lost her power was in the first movie, Andy and Na was fighting.
Yes.
And Na ended up stabbing her.
Yes.
And because of Na stabbing her, it caused her to lose her power.
Yes.
Because Na is supposed to be the last,
No.
Now, okay. Now is supposed to be the last immortal person.
And so there's a connection between Now and Discord.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you got this birthmark, and I have the same one, so I'm the first, you're the last. So, but there will be there won't be another one born, but they can pass the power off.
So how did they find out how they can pass the power out?
Do you know?
Yeah.
How?
I know. Do you know? Do you know?
Let me see. Hold on. Do I know?
Do you know, Diane?
How did Discord find out?
No. How did both of them find out? And how did we all know as
I know how we found out.
Okay.
I know we found out with Andy, right?
We found out through Ty. What's his name? Ty.
Ty. No, it's Ty.
It's the other guy.
The one that
Tom.
Yeah, when he told them that. Yeah.
But he was only going off. So you have a new character being introduced in 2, which is, like you said before, that we find out that Discord and another individual by the name of Ta were there at the witch trial, right? However, Ta is more of a seer. He's he takes the seer type role.
Yes.
He has this room full of books outlining everything that happened with them,
and he wrote books on all of them.
All of them. And so what happened that we knew we know these backstory based on now vision or dreams that she had. She had an issue. She had a dream where she saw this woman take books or take a series of important books that was based on their
it was Andy's community. Group. Andy's group. So all of the books that she took were about Andy, Nikki, Joe, Now, and Booker.
Oh, okay. I didn't think that. I thought she just took very important books about them as people. Not them in reference to the immortals.
All of the immortals?
Yeah, the immortals.
No, it was specifically about them.
Oh, okay.
Because when they went and they was like, well, what happened to that section? And he was like, it was some books on y'all or something like that. He said. So I think that's how she. Well, maybe she was able to see Now also. I'm not sure, but I think he did say that it was the books. The section was on them.
When you just said was she able to see Now, this is a thought or where this was. why wasn't the rest of them able to know about Ty and
Discord.
Discord?
So
That wasn't explained to me.
Discord was the first one.
Yeah, she's number one.
They only have a vision when someone new comes.
Uh-huh.
So Andy, I want to say Andy found out about Old Boy before he let her out. I think that's when he found out. She found out about him. Ty, what's his name?
Ty.
Ty.
Tuah.
So, because he's the one that had let her out of that he freed her. He helped her escape, right? So, I think that's when she learned about him, when he let her escape. But I don't know if he was before her.
Okay. But from my understanding, they're all connected. Neurologic. What is it? Neurology.
Neurological. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't know.
Like nerve wise.
Yes. Okay. Yes, but
and this is where I guess from director and writer point of view, maybe they should have elaborated more on Discord and Ty character, even though we did see them at the trial. Yes. At the Salem trial.
We see that in part 2.
Yeah.
So it shows the trial in part 1, but then part 2 it shows a different perspective. Not perspective. Point of view. A different point of view. So
because it's from theirs.
Yes.
Instead of
Andy and Quinn. Yeah. Yes. So I think Discord, I would say because it seemed like you only, and they said it in 1, I think, with Now, is that you only dream about the person when they first become immortal.
Okay.
And that's that connection. So that's what helps them find them. So I think with Discord, because she was first, that's why none of them dreamt of her before.
Gotcha.
Now, Ty, I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think he was older than Andy.
Yeah. But they never say. The only thing he says is when the CIA guy asked, the CIA, Ty asked the CIA guy how old he was, and so the CIA asked him how old Ty was, and Ty said, "We'll just round up a number."
Yes,
and we'll do I think he said 23.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
like 230 or something like that, or something. So we only get that snippet of how his age. However, but he was there during the time of the trial, so it could have been more. It could have been even less.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
So so with him coming on, old girl killed him. Well, yeah, she knew he was immortal, but she killed him and then took his books. And so now she's trying to come and get Andy and her crew because she wants to be able to take their immortality.
Yeah.
Now, Quinn comes, and Quinn is like this scorned lover, like, bitch, you left me at the bottom of the ocean for 500 years type thing. Do you think Quinn and Andy was, scissoring?
Not rubbing. No rubbing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because she mentioned when they were kind of chained up, it's kind of us against the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you would want to do that with your love person. You would want to. They portrayed a more intimate relationship compared to just friendship or good girlfriends.
Right. And so I think that it seemed like in part 2 we got to see a little bit more of the softer side of Andy.
We did.
Because even when it was like, what's the thing something that made you be like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
They were bumping it.
They were. So when she first seen Quinn, and it was the vision of her, I guess when they first met.
Yes.
And then the camera kind of turns around, and then now you see them in modern day. Well, you see her and Quinn in modern day.
Yeah.
And so I took it from that to where, okay, this is my loved one, as well as when Booker had came back and told her that, hey, she's looking for you, and she really wants to understand, like, out like what's going on now, why you left her. The look on her face was more kind of like, oh my God, she's here. She's really here. So that's my take.
So did you pay attention to the necklace?
Oh yeah, that she gave Quinn had gave her the necklace.
Yes. I can't remember if the necklace was in part 1 or not. But in part 2, they made it like it was, she's been wearing this 500 years.
Represent. Okay.
But it was those small moments where like she would just like hold on to the necklace. So it's like if you think about like loved ones and like those memorabilia type moments, like you like embrace those tangible things,
memory keepsakes or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that it was those small moments like that was like, oh, maybe she meant a little bit more to her. And then when Quinn and Andy get in a fight, Quinn is like, nope, give me my necklace back. Like off of what's the movie with T.I.?
ATL.
Yes. He's like, nope, give my necklace back.
But then, okay, another thing, since you brought that up, another thing was Andy didn't want to fight her. Andy was trying her best.
Yeah. But also at that point, Andy knew she was immortal. So it's like if Quinn would have been like, I know you, she was mortal. So if Quinn would have been like, I know you can't die, so I'm gonna kill you just because.
Then
she would have been.
Remember then the way she held Quinn's face.
Yes, when she was like,
she was like, listen.
No, she was like, stop.
Yeah,
stop this. Yes.
So okay, yeah, that's what gave it off.
But to me, like when we talk about those small little moments, as an actor, even within the directing the director has to make sure that they're able to find those small moments to tell the bigger picture. Okay. They could have just been fighting, and she'd be like, nope, stop it, without it being like an emotional thing. But it's like there's that little glimpse of there's love there outside of we spent all these years together. So throughout the second one, we see Uma trying to take over and steal their immortality. We figure out how old girl is killing them. Now Booker eventually, when whatever his name was, he tells what's the guy named Ty?
Yeah.
Ty tells Booker his theory of how she
become back to just a regular individual.
Yes. Yeah. And so he was like, it's just a theory, but let's see. So at first, when Booker, yes.
Before you get into that, do you think Booker and Ty knew each other?
No. Why? You think they do?
I don't. Well, they knew of each other, but they didn't know each other. Because Booker was like, "Oh, finally get to meet Booker." Well, Ty was like, "Oh no, hold on, no, it was Booker." Booker had said, "Oh, so you're Ty or whatever," and then Booker was like, "Yeah, Booker." No,
ooh, you need some water.
Why I need some water?
Because you all over the place.
Don't do me like that. So no, it was Ty that said, "Finally get to meet you, Booker." No, he called him by first name now. That I caught that. He called Booker by his original first name. And then he was like, well, do you want to be called that? He was like, no, you just call me Booker.
Okay.
Or whatnot. So to me, I thought that was a significance of either Andy had told Ty about Booker.
No, Ty knew them. Because remember, Ty had already wrote books on them. So Ty had been keeping up with them. Andy may have been.
But it didn't make it seem like they knew, like they hung out.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. Because Ty was also older, so he was able to see Booker when Booker became immortal.
And then you're able to see they transition of life, like what they're doing in life and stuff.
Ty?
Yeah.
So I don't think that he can envision them because now was the only one that can like have visions of people.
She's the only one that have
because she was able to like see feel Quinn's pain and stuff. So what was it now? I mean, what a name. But anyway, so I don't know. I don't know how Ty knew all the stuff about them, but was he like tracking them or anything like that?
Yeah, I think he was more a seer. So, he gave you seer vibes,
right? So once Booker finds out that now has this ability to take away immortality, he sets up a little thing with, let's spar.
Yeah, because if she's able to stab, jab, cut, or anything,
it could be a little slice.
She gonna take your soul. She gonna take your ability.
Right. So in that time, like he's fighting, like pretend, not they sparring with each other, and he gets cut.
But before, in between that time, why do you think Ty had joined in too to the fight?
That's a good question.
Because that's how Booker eventually got cut. Because Booker was done. She was done with Booker. She was basically fighting Ty at that time, and that's what caused Booker to jump in and get cut.
I don't know why Ty. I don't know why he jumped in.
I feel like Ty jumped in because when he saw Booker jump in, I felt like he was like, "Oh, what are you trying to do? You're trying to test my theory? Okay, well, only let me help out and let me get in the fight and see if I get cut, if it's gonna happen too as well." So I feel like he set himself up to do the same thing that Booker did.
I don't know, because I don't know why he would do that. Like that would be like if the theory is real, like why would you just take a chance? Like I'll just leave it to Booker.
But Ty been in the world. Like if we have the same concept of how Booker felt, I've been here for X amount of years. I done seen people come and go. Okay, I'm just tired.
But see,
Ty could have been the same way too.
Yes, but that's one of the things where we didn't get any of that from him or his storyline. So I don't know. Like it could be, but I don't know. So
but Booker did get cut.
Booker got caught, and so in episode 1 of the podcast, part 1 of the podcast, we talked about. I told you remind me of the mirror scene because it's like those small moments. So you see Booker going through that, like he was like thinking about it, like, do I want to give her my powers? Like, I'm losing them no matter what. So it's like, what do I do? But it was that small moment of him looking at her through the mirror, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I think that was a very intimate moment within the film because it's like him finally saying, "I'm done. Like, I know I'm done. I'm going to die eventually."
Yeah, I got to come to the reality of life.
And I think it was in that moment that because Ty said you have to like genuinely give the power to somebody. And so it was in that moment that you saw that genuineness of him and like that remorse from everything that he had done. Right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's what I think it was.
Because originally he just, in part 2, once he met up back with them and stuff like that and gave the message from Quinn to Andy, his whole thing was, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave. I've already been exiled. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave. And it was Andy to tell him, no, you deserve to be here, man.
Right.
So that's why in our episode 1, I was saying they shouldn't have never did it in the first place because he's still family.
But it's one of those things where I think there had to be some type of lesson learned. And so maybe she wasn't planning on going the whole 100 years. Wasn't going 100 years. She was just like, I'm gonna teach my lesson, then we'll go find them. But a little bit more to that one is Nikki was it Nikki or Joe that was talking to Booker?
Oh, it was Joe.
Yeah. So Joe had been talking to Nikki the whole time, and that's how they realized they went to go check on him. His apartment was bloody, and they realized that something had happened.
Something was going.
I honestly thought that he was going to set him up again when he went there. It was like Quinn is out. I was like, bro, you can't set him up again.
Hey,
not again.
He made them meet him in
a park,
field.
Right?
No, that wasn't even a park. That was a field.
Right.
That was a field with a bench in the front.
Like this little.
Who did the production? Who did the production?
You so judgmental.
That's not judgmental. But is that a production scene or that's
like the scene? Like the
who set that up?
Location manager,
did
whatever.
You set that up?
Who
did you set that up, Bobby?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Well, I thought it was fine. You so judgmental.
I mean,
So okay, so some of the
We've
things that
seen
I
some of your scenes.
shut up. Some of the things that some of the things that was like kind of stood out to me. We talked about like with Booker, we kind of mentioned it a little bit. And the first one was like the loneliness for all of them, right? You can't. It's hard for you to connect.
Not Joe and Nikki. Joe and Nikki had the love us,
but they had some
love
issues.
us.
But I think that it's if you look at just the idea of having to go years without really getting to know somebody, and like we talked about in episode 1, that you if you have a family, you literally got to know, hey, in 100 years, all of these people that like on this day right now, all the people that are in front of me in 100 years are going to be gone.
Yep.
And having to repeat that for centuries upon centuries, like that is a lot.
It's miserable. It's lonely.
Like, could you imagine yourself having to go through that?
So it takes me back to I know it's a movie out there, y'all, and I really can't put my grasp on the movie, but it was a movie dated where somebody had everlasting life or whatever. And in the movie they was discussing someone was trying to get the same type of life, and what the individual was saying about everlasting life is you watch people grow, you watch people come in this world, and you watch people leave this world, and over the time frame that will be a miserable feeling. However, as us in real time, in real world, we will trade having everlasting life for nothing. I would trade it for nothing. I like it. I would like it. I would
everlasting life.
Everlasting life. I would be able to see, and then I remain this age. It's not a what's the name? With Taraji and
Benjamin Button.
Yeah, it's not a Benjamin Button type of situation. Yeah, I'm gonna be young and cute all my life. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna ride with it.
Okay, but
I'm gonna ride with it.
So now you got me thinking about movies that I'm trying to think. But it's like at some point you got to get tired of the same old. Not even the same old,
no,
but
it's not same old, because you think about it. If you was able to live through Renaissance, you was able to live through the Great Depression, you was able World War I, World War II,
upcoming World War III.
Hold on. Let's not put that in the world. Okay, let's not put that in. Speak life on that. No, but what's another thing that in all these different type of eras? All these eras are. You have transitional moments where it be different. It may not get. It may get boring because you want to latch to just that one individual, and you with that person consistently. Yeah, it's true. That give you. I mean, if you a hoe, you're gonna enjoy every minute of it, because that means.
So okay, I'm not calling you a hoe,
bitches and
I'm not calling you that, but you said that you would enjoy that, so that's one of the things that you would enjoy.
The whole.
So you're looking forward to that futuristic
hoeing?
Yes.
No, I'm not. Hold on now. Hold on. I'm not. I'm just speaking for the individuals out there that are basically fluid in communication. Okay.
Okay.
That gives them opportunity to communicate with multiple individuals in multiple decades and multiple centuries.
But at some point,
and I rest my case.
At some point, that has to get old. Like, you can't. I'm not saying you can't, but I just couldn't imagine going through.
Bobby, if you want to die, just die. Just die. If you die,
oh my,
you die.
That's a little dark.
I don't want you to die, but you saying it's.
I think one and done is good for me. Like, I don't want to experience this life again.
You don't want multiple
lives. I don't. Like, I feel that
you don't want to be Catman, huh?
It's like you go through good and bad in life. You're going to have those great moments. You're going to have those horrible moments, and to constantly go through that in different ways with the different people and experiencing the same tragedies and stuff over and over. So like you imagine let's think like if we go back to how many years. I like history, but I'm not a historian. So we think about like some of the horrible things that happened 100 years ago. If we talk about like, let's talk about slavery and stuff like that. Like to live through that, to go 300 something years and have to deal with that, and then it's like, oh, we out of slavery now, we in segregation, now we got to deal with that. Then like, oh, let's fast forward to 2025, and this jerk in the White House, now we got to live through this foolishness. Like I would be tired, bro.
But doesn't that give? But
No,
going through all of that, doesn't it
no.
give you a sense of?
Mm-mm.
Why are you making the face like
Finish.
that?
Listen,
Why?
I'm listening.
So going through all of that doesn't give you the sense of each day is a new opportunity to
To
basically
deal with
change.
more BS.
No, to change the trajectory, yeah, of whatever you put out there in the universe, to change it. Okay, back in 1960, I woke up in a world of I can't go to a diner and eat at the stand, at the counter.
Mm-hmm.
But 2025, we able to go to any place and eat anywhere as African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
But yet you can't be a black kid wearing a hoodie with Skittles and some juice. It's like, is it better? Is it better? Yes, it's better.
But we're getting better. We're getting better in time. Though.
But that's the thing. I feel like let's say you've lived this current. Oh no, let's go back. The current 100 years. Was that 1,000 years? 1,000 years from 1900 to. It's not. Yes, it is to 2000. That's 1,000. From 1900 to 2000. That's 100. What is that?
1900
That's 100 years
to 2000.
That's only 100 years.
Yes, Nick.
That's only 100 years.
It's okay. It's
from
okay.
1900 to 2000
to 2000. That's 100
That's
years.
only 100.
Yeah,
that ain't right. Math good?
In 1999, if somebody was born in 1900 and in 1999, how old they would be?
99.
Yeah, there we go.
That's only.
Tell him he learned something. He learns something new every day.
So just think about. Yeah. Just think about that 100 years.
I get you though.
So what I was mistaken, I forgot that it's been 25 years since 2000. That's why I was messed up. I was like, that ain't right.
Oh, okay, 125.
125. 125. My math was off. I'm back. But it's I'm back.
Okay. All right.
So, like, what was like, oh, that's only 100, bro? So, if you think about just the stuff that happened in the 1900s,
yeah,
it was like,
yeah, we went through a lot. Though.
And 25 years later, we still going through it. So, I think for somebody that's lived 100 years, 200 years, 300, not somebody, because I don't think anybody's done that. But if you're living all of these years, going across decades, cross centuries, it's like
you get tired.
After about 500 years, you're like, well, damn, it's better, but it's still bad. Like, when is it going to be good?
Jarrell, stop looking at
not the government.
Cup. No, stop looking at the cup as being half empty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Look at it as half full.
Fuck that cup. Cause no.
But you have to be opposite. You have to. Okay, so just like Andy was optimistic on the fact that on the fact that once they fought and got through it, her and Quinn was able to come back together.
Yes.
And be a united front.
Mm-hmm.
So she had the hope.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you have that hope about eternal life?
What happened to Quinn?
Well, Quinn was at the bottom of the ocean and she was going through a hard time.
And then what?
And then she was rescued.
Mm-hmm.
And she just had to go through a little something. She had to go through a little bit more of internal.
What happened to her at the end of her part in the movie?
Nothing.
She died.
Quinn didn't die.
She did die. Oh, she was saved. Old girl saved her. You're right. You're right. My bad, shorty. My bad. My bad. Because I know she. But no. So she did. She was saved. She was saved. She was rescued. She patched her up. She patched her up.
Nah,
and she was laying next to her bed inside and all that. But it was the part when Andy. You remember that part?
She wasn't laying next to the bed. No.
Whatever. Andy was laying down.
She had the bomb.
No, she was that's the part when she found her and she had the little slash. So she was dying, but Andy was like, "Where's she taking them?" And she just ran off. I was like, "Damn, you leaving her?"
Yeah, because she had to go get her. She had to go get her family.
But she went back and saved her and patched her up and stuff.
So but I'm just saying, like it's just the optimistic of it all. Like to have eternal life, it could be a bad thing. I get you, and this I guess this is where our personalities run perfect in parallel with each other based on we have different views. I look at eternal life as okay, that's a good thing. That's a good way for you to transition through multiple facets of life. I'm done. 100 years, I'm good. I'm good. So you tap out. You tap out at 100,
55, 60,
50. Oh, Lord, he don't mean it.
Take me now.
He don't mean it.
Take me now, Lord.
He don't mean it.
But I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't imagine it. Like I don't want to have to keep going through this.
Look how many movies you can produce and direct. You can do.
I could wait 100 years and reproduce something that didn't do well.
Well, I don't want you to repeat.
I could take all of that man movies and make them good.
Why you gotta take that man movies? Why you can't take somebody else's movies?
Because I want to take his.
Why? What? That man ain't do nothing to you. That man
He made horrible movies.
He's going through something.
That's his fault if he was trying to sleep with them people.
So I mean, hey,
allegedly, because we don't know.
Please,
we don't know.
Allegedly.
We don't know.
Please, but yeah.
All right. So okay, Booker's death. What did you think of Booker's death?
Hey, he had to go out like a G. He had to go out as a G. Mm-hmm. He had to say, "I'm first this time."
Yes, and so I think like that's what when I say those small moments in the first one, it showed his weakness, and he was tired. He mentioned a few things here and there, but it was like all of those little small moments that you didn't kind of pay attention to, where he was showing that vulnerable side of like, I'm tired, I don't want to keep doing this, like what's going to happen. It led up to his final moments.
So Booker, we're at a point where Booker was slashed or cut by now.
Yes,
and unfortunately, he lost his immortality ability, and he passed it to Andy, who at the time Andy didn't even know that she was able to basically be immortal again. And they're in a situation where they're outnumbered, and so she has the mentality, and I love her as a good leader too, because the first thing that she do, even when she was not immortal, she was kicking ass and really and ready to basically be the first one to go in. And so during that time frame, he told her, he was like, "Hey, let me be the first one." And she was like, "Well, no, I got it. I'm the first one." And so he was like, "No." And he ended up showing her his cut that never heal.
Right.
That right there, the look on her face, once he showed her the cut and the look on her face, and it wasn't even, he didn't even have to tell her that she was immortal again. You see I see how quick that she jumped in and was real quick and just fighting. Yeah. Yeah. So I love that portion of 2. That's my favorite. I guess you can call it. That's my favorite scene.
What I loved about the scene is, I know you've lost grandparents before. Did you see them up until the? Did you like were you there up until the end?
Yeah, on one of them. Yeah.
So I believe that I understand like death is a natural part of life, right? I'm the type of person where I can be sad that someone's gone, but I also understand it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
right?
That's one thing we can't cheat.
What I loved about Booker's death is that he went out with honor, like I'm protecting her. Like even though I know she's immortal, I'm protecting her. Like I want her to be able to go to do what she got to do, so y'all not capturing her. And it was like at the end of it, it was he's finally free. All of the stuff that he was like burnt out with, that he was tired of, that he was hurting on, he was finally able to just.
You was just Team Booker.
I did like Booker. I thought he was good.
You
I thought he was good.
Team Booker.
So you wasn't happy that he died?
No.
I was happy that he was finally free. Like he had been, there was a burden.
You sound like the kid that'll basically shoot a horse when the horse isn't paying.
No. Well,
are you that person?
I wouldn't shoot it, but I would be okay with someone else shooting it. Because I'm like, I'd rather it not be in pain.
Okay.
So like, I was happy that he was able to be free. So then we realized that Quinn had been stabbed, was cut by Now, but then we also find out that Discord was also cut. So now we realize that Discord is trying to capture them so that she can take their immortality. Exactly. And she's like,
because she want to be the head nigga in charge, basically.
Right, but I think she wants to be the only one.
Yeah,
she's like, she wants to be the only immortal person. So she put Joe and Nikki in these body bags and suck the air out, and so they can right in that moment they can't come back to life because they're not going to be able to breathe at all. So, and
I didn't put two and two together in regards to why she did that.
Right.
I just thought that she was just kind of like concealing them.
Oh no, it was because like the only way they could come back to life if they got air to breathe. Okay. So they can't come back to life. But her thing was she's now going to torture them and use Now to did she capture Now? Mm-hmm. So she did capture Now
because she ended up stabbing Now.
Yes,
and I was wondering like, okay, what in regards to if Now stabs somebody, they loses the power. Mm-hmm. What about if when Discord do something to somebody?
I guess nothing happens. Yeah, because like that's strange. Because she stabbed
She stabbed Nah, and
she stabbed Ty, whatever his name.
Oh yeah, in the
division. Yeah. So he would still be able to. He came back. So I don't think she has that type of power because she said that Now. She told Now that you have a special power that you don't know about or something. So so now she's captured them and she's basically going to torture them, have Now stab them, and then force them to give her
the power,
the immortality. So I wonder, is it like, or is she going to?
So if y'all didn't notice, part 2 was also left with a cliffhanger as well.
Okay, so to get to the cliffhanger, so at the end of it, Now, not now.
Just gonna keep this train going.
Andy and Discord have a fight. Discord ends up escaping. Right, and then Quinn
with who?
Who did she? She had Joe, Nikki, and Now. Yeah. And so, and Booker's dead now.
So she got the whole team basically.
So now, Quinn has been saved. Andy patched her up. She's healed. Well, not healed, but healing because she's not immortal.
She's not immortal anymore.
But she's willing to now join Andy to fight because she didn't realize she got basically Discord used her also.
Oh.
To get close to Andy.
And there was a intimate moment. Are you gonna fight behind me?
No. You're gonna fight behind me.
When your significant other says that to you, Jesus.
So okay. So they get away in the helicopters. Now Andy is left. Now is there, and she now has to figure out how do I get them back. Movie goes off.
And now, at the end of the day, Andy did say, I'm going to get them back.
Right.
And when Andy say something, Andy mean it.
Right. Now, with Now's power, it was the science fiction part of it, and she didn't realize that she had the power until I think she cut Quinn. Because when she cut Quinn, she was like, "I'm sorry." She's like, "What you mean you sorry?" Like she
knew what was happening.
So at that point, she realized that what was going on.
Was her acting better? I think her acting was better in this
I would say her acting was a little bit better. It was a little bit more tolerable.
a
little bit more tolerable.
She was more mature.
Yes,
on the mature level.
But I think at that point, she was the character herself was. She was where she needed to be. So it wasn't like she was in that denial, which was a struggle for Kiki to play at times. So I think it was better. Now, I think that I like the fact that they made the twist to her power. Well, I feel like coming from the first movie to the second movie, they had to figure out a way, how do we bring Andy back?
Okay.
So the way to bring Andy back is the transfer of the power.
Okay. I get you.
So up until that point, they didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
But they had to kind of like, let's throw this in there, and hopefully nobody questions.
Because
in thousands some years, how didn't we figure this out?
Because Andy, this would have been Andy last movie, because she still was body, and I'm going to basically fight until the end. Because even when she wasn't immortal, she was fighting.
She was still fighting.
She was still fighting.
And there were plenty of times I'm like, these are hired guards. How is she able to escape these people this well?
And that's when I say her years of service. We thank you, Andy, for your years of service and sacrifices.
Okay. So overall, in episode 1 of the podcast, you said that episode 1, part 1, you said that you liked part 1 better. What would you say made 1 better than 2?
1 was a little bit more storyline. There was an evil villain, even though Uma was supposed to be the evil villain in part 2, but to me, she wasn't, because she was trying to accomplish a certain goal of hers because she matched the energy, compared to the evil guy that was just trying to suck their damn powers out.
Yeah. But I feel the thing that made Uma worse is the fact that she's one of them.
Oh yeah, she can match the energy.
But it's like, no, I'm saying the fact that, okay, you are immortal and you're taken away from them.
Okay.
Like, we know that now it's the only person that can take their power. So why would you even weaponize that? Like, that's something like you at that time she was immortal up until now cut her. So like, why are you even doing this? Like, what is it? Is she going to get more immortality?
Yeah,
like what do you gain from it?
Behind it?
So that I guess I didn't kind of get the reasoning behind
but
it.
We don't know a lot about her though.
I get that. I'm just saying I'm saying like my opinion of the second movie.
Yeah.
The questions that I was kind of left with of why is she doing this?
And then some of the fight scenes were kind of like, okay, we're here, and
I feel like they tried to go bigger, so like with the crash and all of those things, all that. So in the end, what would you rate part 2?
8.5.
8.5. Yeah. Okay, I would give it an 8. Okay, so we like a point. We're like a point away. So
how you go down in 2 again?
Because I thought 1 was better. What I liked about,
but I hope we're not basically thinking on a biased perspective, because part 1 kind of set us up for the trajectory of the whole entire movie and franchise.
So, well, the fact that we only went down a 0.5 is good for a part 2 movie, because most part 2 movies be like trash.
Boom.
So I feel like 8 to me, an 8 is a good score from me. Because when you said that you was giving the first one a 9, I was like, oh, that's kind of high. Like, I want to see what's the 10. Want to see what's the 10.
What's the 10?
Yeah.
Me.
And we are done. Have a great day.
Ooh, no, we're not gonna do that.
I'm just saying. No, so I think for one, I love the fact that we got to see the characters. We learned about them. It was the introduction,
Mm-hmm.
but we got to see a little bit like Nikki and Joe kind of had their little tiff at one point. But we still didn't get a full backstory of the main characters, and so yet we brought in two new characters,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like, okay, you brought in these two new characters because of course it's a part 2, so we need like something fresh, something new.
A new line, a new segment,
new little storyline. Like, where can we go now from this? So okay, now, but we didn't learn completely about Discord. We didn't know much about Ty. He just was kind of thrown to us, and then this whole time it's like, oh, you had all of this stuff in your lair, and apparently Andy knew about it.
Now, one thing we did not mention is out of all of this stuff, there was a CIA guy,
yes,
who in part 1 did more of trying to understand who they were.
Yes. Okay. So, right. In the beginning, it was like he was working for the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He thought the bad guy
to be a part of him.
Right. He thought the bad guy was trying to help, but then he realized the bad guy really wasn't trying to help.
He was trying to take.
Then in the end of the first one, we see that okay, he's actually been like a historian, following and got data and all that stuff on him.
He has, and then in 2, we find out that he linked each of them individually by the historical events that has happened amongst the world.
Right.
And like true historical events.
Yes.
Wall of China, all of that kind of stuff. Then now to be him in part 2, now he's part of the team.
Yes, and he's helping them. It's like with the whole, we talked about the digital footprint and stuff like that. So he's helping them to make sure they stay under the radar as much as possible. So
why he always play a supporting actor?
Maybe that's just the roles he gets. Some people get typecast.
Got you.
It happens. But overall, I did enjoy part 2. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would.
Okay.
It's like, when you go into like those part 2s, especially like with Netflix, because like Netflix, them movies, like this was a waste of time.
Sometimes.
Like y'all just put this out just to make money, and there's nothing here. But I was pleasantly surprised.
Type of substance,
none at all. But I feel like this one did good.
Yeah, it really did good. You picked 2 good movies. I must give you credit. You did your thing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I think like the acting in this one was pretty good. Quinn, I enjoyed Quinn's acting. There were moments where I was like, but then there were parts where I'm like, okay, she wasn't like amazing, but she did enough to get by. So I'm interested in seeing how part 3 goes. If anyone from Netflix is listening to this, please don't make us wait 5 years to because
that's a big stretch.
When did Old Guard 2 came out? And was it 2020?
I thought it was 2021 or something.
Let's look it up and see. The Old Guard.
Oh yeah, 2020.
Okay, so making us wait 5 years.
Well, I mean, it is Netflix.
Right. But I'm interested. Hopefully they keep the same level of creativity.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think the struggle with it is like you may have a writer or a producer or a director on one film, and as the franchise goes, they'll change directors, they'll change writers, and so they kind of lose that what the spark that was in the originals.
But then sometimes it's
a change is needed,
yeah, it's kind of good to bring in new.
I get that, but if we're rating the first movie, you said a 9, I said an 8.5. Second movie, a 8.5 and an 8. Like those are high ratings. So I'm like, if it ain't broke,
don't. But we're going down. We're not going up, though.
But we didn't go down a lot. Only 0.5.
The fact of the matter is, we went down in general.
I get it.
I'm going down.
I'm sorry, we do not have copyrights for that. Well, thank you though. But anyway, so that's our review on the Old Guard 1 and the
Hope
Old
you
Guard
liked
2.
it. Hope you liked it.
Y'all can catch those movies. Both of them are streaming now on Netflix. You can follow me at Bobby Jarrell on Instagram.
And you can hit me on up on Instagram with Den Kirk. That's DENKIRK.
Got me coughing. So
That's a cough.
please, if y'all enjoyed the episode, if y'all thought the review was good, I know it's just us chatting and talking about it, but it's our thoughts. And if y'all have similar thoughts, if y'all have different opinions,
Please
hit us
share.
up. Let us know what y'all think of the
Yes.
movie if you've seen it. Like I said, hopefully y'all didn't listen to this podcast and haven't watched the movie because it's definitely a spoiler alert. So
Not that much though. Not that much.
we went through pretty much the whole movie.
It's still a little.
Of
little
course,
pockets.
of course, there
now.
are like we can't go through every single scene and walk through like she's walking down the thing and she's turning the boat. But excuse me. So make sure y'all like, comment, share, tell a friend, hit us up, let us know what y'all think, and yeah, we look forward to your feedback and look forward to doing more movies. If y'all have any suggestions on movies that we should review, hit us up, let us know, and we will definitely check them out.
Most definitely, and thank you, and thank you.
All right,
for listening to a movie, a cocktail.
Oh my life! Hold on, try again.
I said it right. Okay, thank you for listening.
The name of the movie. I mean, the name of the show. What's the name of the show? Say the name of the show. Just say that.
A movie and a cocktail with Bobby and Dennis.
There you go. You got it right there. Good job. Look at you knowing the name of the show.
God dang.
All right. So until next time, we will see you. Well, we'll see you next time.
We'll see you in 2 shakes of a Sunday.
Peace.
Peace out.